Our next speaker is going to be Ohad Zaidenberg. He is one of the founders of the CTI League. And it's all about volunteering during a type of crisis. That's really going to be the heart of what we're going to talk about. In 4 short months, they've accomplished so many things. Ohad is the lead cyber intelligence researcher for Clear Sky Cybersecurity, where he tracks state-sponsored malware, propaganda, influence campaigns, psychological warfare, and he focuses on Iran. Oh my goodness, what a topic right now of all times, you know. And I can't welcome Ohad enough. Please join me in giving him a strong, warm welcome to the BsidesTLV stage. Ohad, take it away.
So hello, everyone, and thank you for joining me in this community talk. I'm really, really excited to having this. I want to thank BsidesTLV for the opportunity to talk about the CTI League, the first global community dedicated to neutralizing cyber threats looking to exploit the current pandemic and to protect life-saving sector. So Karen told a lot about me, but I want to introduce myself in person. As you heard, my name is Ohad Zaidenberg. I'm the founder of the CTI League. I live in Tel Aviv, here 5 minutes away from this place, and everything that's already said. So let's start the story of the CTI League 4, 5, 6 months ago, on January. On January, I started to see more and more threat actors trying to leverage the corona crisis to input, for example, the theme of the corona into the decoy documents, all the documents that are trying to leverage in some social engineering methods in order to attack some clients, some victims. And on January, when it was just a small virus, an unknown virus in China, I started to see more and more threat actors use it. Then I saw an increasing of that. On March, I started to think, what would happen if some hackers will try to reply the scenario of NotPetya from 2017, the time that ransomware targeted hospitals in the US and around the world. This is a real danger. This is not the time to do it. This is a real threat now that might cause death. The equation that I do is very simple. If some hospital need to choose between paying to ransomware or buying new ventilator, I prefer that this hospital will buy this new ventilator. So I started to think, how can I contribute to this effort? Because I'm not a doctor. I can't fight the virus itself, but I can contribute and participate in the fight of the world of the virus. I can help to protect life-saving sectors. I remember a really long night drive that I had to Tel Aviv just after the Prime Minister of Israel announced about the quarantine. And I said to myself, you are going to have a lot of spare time right now. You are going to stay at home for at least 1 or 2 months. You need to do something for the medical sector. I thought about a Slack channel, some small Slack channel for 50 maximum people that's going to run some scripts on Shodan to identify vulnerabilities. But only a few days after, the second biggest Czech Republic hospital was targeted and hit by a cyber attack. That was the trigger that said to me, you need to do something now. That was the trigger for me to stop sitting on the fence and start operating the CTI League. I reached Nate Warfield, is one of my co-founders, because he tweeted a lot of his effort to identify vulnerabilities in medical organizations. I sent him a message and I said, hi, in the last few days, I'm thinking about creating a pro bono CTI community dedicated to the corona crisis, like a Slack channel. Do you want to join me? So together, alongside with Mark Rogers and Chris Miles and all the management team of CTI League, we established the first global community dedicated to the corona crisis. I want to start talking about the CTI League itself with this map. This map does not presenting the distribution of the virus of corona. This map includes all the countries that we have volunteers from New Zealand to Australia, Japan, India, the Middle East, Europe, South Africa, and other countries in Africa, North and South America. People joined us more than 1,500 people from all around the world, more than 80 countries, and 21 time zones. It means that every time in the league, we have at least one member that is active and ready to act. So we started the CTI League as global. The CTI League also is a community. It means that we want to connect people. We want to build not a social network, but professional network of people that want to volunteer, to want to contribute pro bono to some great goal. We want to make change, but we really care about what the members of the CTI League think about how the league should operate. We are a community of cyber threat intelligence experts, incident responders, industry experts, and I'm really happy about the fact that we have a lot of law enforcement organization and representative in the community. These connections are very, very important to the league because together we can break the silos and the barriers between people all around the world. No matter the country, no matter the place, we can connect them and operate as one unit to make the change. This is the first time law enforcement organizations from all around the world, whether it's government organizations, agencies, or national CERTs, can talk directly with experts not only from their country, from all around the world. On that, those are the missions of the CTI League. The first mission and the most prioritized and the most initial mission of the CTI League is to neutralize cyber threats looking to exploit the current COVID-19 pandemic. The second mission of the CTI League is to protect life-saving sectors from cyber attack. By life-saving sectors, I mean the medical sector, the public health sector, the emergency sector, all the people that now fighting the virus, standing on the field, on the front line of the virus, and someone need to watch them too. If we can contribute and help them protecting their network, their organizations, they will be able to save life more than paying for ransomware. And the last mission, and I'm going to talk about it in a few minutes, is to support the law enforcement organization against the cyber threats that are a danger for the public safety. To understand how we achieve this mission, or these missions, I'm going to talk about 4 main core services of the CTI League. All of these services are pro bono services. None of the CTI League volunteers getting money from it. We don't ask money from the organization. We do it because we believe that we can make change. We do it because we saw already how effective can we be, how fast we can work, faster than any company in the world, because we are united. We have representatives of all the great companies that exist in the world, and we're looking for more. So let's talk about the core services of the CTI League. The first one is neutralization. We can compare neutralization to getting a vaccine or using a medicine for a disease. Neutralization means neutralize malicious activity, exploiting the current COVID-19 pandemic, or targeting the life-saving sectors, which are the medical, the emergency, the public health. And we do that by 3 main services or efforts. The first one is takedown. We want to terminate or to eliminate the infrastructure and the assets of the threat actors from the internet. We were able to do it, and we did it with amazing amount of takedowns. For sure, at the last few months of the CTI League, we were able to take down and remove from the internet a lot of threats. We can triage the information to the medical sector, for example, or to the organization that we're impersonated to. We can escalate the information to further investigation of these law enforcement organizations. We believe that if we will take down these threat actors' infrastructure, we will be able to disrupt their ability to conduct the criminal activities. We will be able to make a safer place for the medical sector. But this is not enough, because we can't take down all the malicious infrastructures from the internet. We need something else. We need something more than vaccine. So we have prevention. If we talked about neutralization on the terms of the medical sector as a vaccine, we have the prevention, which is wearing a mask. Basically, the prevention is reduce the level of threat for our stakeholders. On that matter, we're identifying vulnerabilities, compromised assets in legitimate and illegitimate ways, including the darknets, data leaks. All of these very, very important knowledge about the infrastructure, all the vulnerabilities that the hackers can exploit to do harm for these organizations. And we can create a databases of IOCs of these threat actors that focusing on the medical sector, for example, and to share it with the organizations, with the CISOs of the organization. And it's really important to us to send the information, to send the indicators, for example, at the way that the organization can proceed the data. We made a survey at the beginning of this crisis with many CISOs of hospitals all around the world. Part of them said we can't integrate MISP or STIX or even OpenCTI. You can send us block lists, so we created GitHub dedicated for them. We can escalate information to health ISACs, for example, all around the world, and they will reach the organization, said, hey, you have vulnerabilities, please patch it fast as you can. Reduce the level of threat to your organization. In some cases, the vulnerabilities were so severe that we needed to outreach the specific organization by phone and say them, please patch it now, this is a real threat for you. We can share with them compromised assets, threats for these sectors, trends that exist in the cyber domain and threaten about them. So we have the neutralization, we have the prevention. Let's talk about supporting. Supporting, it's like going to the doctor. The CTI League wished to offer for the medical sector and all the life-saving organizations support with cyber protection capabilities. We want to improve their cyber protection capabilities. We want to guide them and to supply technical advisors how to become a protected organization. We want to help them with infrastructure support to mitigate cyber attacks and data leak against them. I never thought about data leaks as a threat for the medical sector, but after all the amazing effort that our Darknet team did, we saw how many data, medical data, sensitive data there exist for selling. And of course, we want to offer IR services if needed. But this is not enough. We can't focus only on the life-saving sectors. If we want to make change now during this crisis, we need to do some other services that related to the corona, but not related only for the life-saving sector. And I want to mention two of these efforts. One is disinformation. We have amazing disinformation work group that work 24/7 with amazing CTI tools to help preventing health-related harm. It can be vaccine deniers. It can be fake news operation against the corona, against some rules, for example, of the government, to undermine the importance of these rules. This is very dangerous because on that, we can see more and more people not listening to the rules, and then we can suffer second wave. They escalate information, they take it down, they alert to the specific organization in need, and they use social media output influencer to help them. This group, this work group, wish to help the medical facilities and organization to build cyber resilience against disinformation attacks. I want to mention another health-related support that we supply as the CTI League. Is the LE, the law enforcement collaboration. We want to neutralize cyber threats looking to exploit the current pandemic. I said it a few times here. Let's take an example. Imagine with me, what would happen if someone who maybe not believe in the government, for example, because of a disinformation campaign, will find an ad on the darknet about test for the corona crisis. He has the symptoms, he wants to do a test, he doesn't believe to the government, he used the test that he bought on the darknet and then get a negative result. He's sick, but he's get a negative result. What would happen? He's going to go out and infect others. It can cause second wave, it can cause third wave on the matter of that. and it can cause death. People can die, and we need to protect them. We need to help the law enforcement organization all around the world to mitigate these type of scams. We want to help them, basically, to reduce the danger for the public safety. And of course, now we suffer the corona crisis. This is a global event. But in the future, we might suffer more events, maybe not only health-related. And we want to be ready to protect and to help the law enforcement organization with new events, global events, might not crises, and protect them, help the threats for the world. On that matter, I want to thank all the law enforcement organizations that work with us, including Christopher Krebs, that point out the good collaborations with the CTI Leagues. Christopher Krebs is the head of CISA from the DHS. And all of these members of the CTI League that help so much for the medical sector. So if I look to the future, do you remember the equation that I did at the beginning of this talk? I said that we prefer that the organization will buy ventilators, for example, and not paying for a ransomware group. This is true not only now, during a crisis. This is true for all the times. So we would like to stay, to keep the CTI League for the future. In 3.5 months, in almost 4 months of operating the CTI League, pro bono, not getting even a single dollar for it, we saw how vulnerable the life-saving sectors are and how many threats exist only for them. I couldn't believe it myself. You remember that I said at the beginning of this talk that I thought it's going to be 50 people and only finding vulnerabilities. There are so many threats. So we would like to build some model of an open CERT, still community volunteer-led, still non-profit, still global, still life-saving sector focused and ready for the next event, whether it's medical or non-medical. For that, I'm happy to announce for the first time about the hackathon of the CTI League from the 15th to the 18th of July. If you want to join us, if you want to participate and take your part in this fight, join us via our website. For the end of this talk, I want to thank all the management team of the CTI League. And more than anyone, I want to thank all the members and the volunteers of the CTI League that worked so hard, pro bono, for the medical sector, for the life-saving sectors, and made so much change in this world. Thank you very much for BSides to having me. Thank you.